Before we dive in, it's important to state that this video is for informational and educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and this presentation does not constitute financial advice. The world of auto protection plans can be complex, and you should always do your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. All information presented is based on research conducted at the time of this recording and is subject to change. Picture this. You're driving home after a long day at work. You're thinking about dinner, about what to watch on TV. Then out of nowhere it happens. A strange clunking sound from under the hood, a plume of smoke from the exhaust, and that dreaded flashing check engine light. Your car sputters to a stop on the shoulder of the highway. As other cars fly past you at 70 miles an hour, one single terrifying thought floods your mind. How much is this going to cost me? That's not just a hypothetical nightmare. For millions of Americans, it's a reality. The average cost for a single unexpected car repair in the United States has skyrocketed. We're not talking about a simple oil change. We're talking about a transmission replacement that can cost you $4,000, even $6,000. An engine control unit, the computer brain of your car, can easily run you $2,000. Even a simple air conditioning compressor can set you back over $1,000. And here's the kicker, the part that nobody tells you when you sign the papers at the dealership. Your standard auto insurance, the policy you legally have to pay for every single month, will not pay 1 single cent for any of it. That's right. Your Geico, your Progressive, your State Farm, they are designed to cover you in a collision. If you get into an accident, they're there for you. But for the single most common and financially devastating problem a car owner will face, a mechanical breakdown, you are completely on your own. It's a massive, terrifying gap in your financial safety net. And in today's world, where a single repair bill can be more than a mortgage payment, that gap is a canyon. That's exactly why we're here today. In this video, we are going to pull back the curtain on the one industry designed to fill that gap. We're talking about extended auto warranties, or more accurately, vehicle service contracts. We are going to demystify this entire, often confusing world by focusing on one of the biggest and most recognized names in the game: Endurance. By the time you finish watching, you will know exactly what Endurance is, how their plans work, what they actually cover, what they don't cover, and the critical questions you need to ask to figure out if a plan like this is the right financial shield for you and your vehicle. We are going to give you the clarity you need to protect yourself from those catastrophic, bank account draining repair bills. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Extended warranty? Isn't that the company that keeps calling me about my car's expiring warranty? It's a fair question. The industry has been plagued by relentless robocalls and aggressive marketing tactics from shady operators, which has, frankly, given the whole concept a bad name. It's created a cloud of confusion, skepticism, and outright distrust. Our job today is to cut through that noise. We're going to separate the legitimate players from the scams and give you the tools to tell the difference. We're focusing on Endurance because they are a direct provider, not a broker, meaning they manage their own plans and handle their own claims, which makes them a perfect case study for understanding how this is all supposed to work. To really get it, we first have to ask, why has this become such a massive issue? Why are car repairs suddenly so astronomically expensive? The answer is sitting in your driveway. The car you drive today is not the same machine your parents or grandparents drove. It's a sophisticated, rolling supercomputer. Your average new car has over 100 million lines of code. That's more than a Boeing 787. It has dozens of microprocessors, complex sensor systems, and interconnected electronic modules that control everything from your engine timing to your heated seats. This technological leap has given us incredible safety, performance, and comfort. But it has also turned every repair into a high-tech, high-cost surgical procedure. The days of the backyard mechanic fixing things with a wrench and some elbow grease are long gone. Today's technicians need thousands of dollars in diagnostic equipment just to figure out what's wrong. The parts themselves are more complex and expensive, and the labor required to install them is highly specialized. A failed sensor isn't just a $10 part anymore. It's a $500 component that requires 3 hours of labor to recalibrate the entire system. That is why a simple problem can now lead to a 4-figure bill that can derail your entire monthly budget, or worse, force you into debt. This is the harsh new reality of car ownership, and it creates a critical choice for every single driver on the road. You can either cross your fingers and hope that nothing ever breaks, a strategy one call financial roulette, or you can find a way to proactively shield yourself from that risk. Traditional insurance won't do it. Your manufacturer's warranty is great, but it inevitably runs out, usually right when the most expensive components start to fail. So where do you turn? This is where companies like Endurance step in. They offer something that looks a bit like insurance and it smells a bit like insurance, but it's a completely different product designed to cover a completely different risk. Understanding that difference is the absolute key to making an informed decision. So, what is the fundamental difference between the auto insurance you're legally required to have and a vehicle protection plan from a company like Endurance? The answer isn't just about what they cover, it's about what they protect. One protects you from the unpredictable chaos of an accident. The other protects you from the inevitable certainty of mechanical failure. And knowing which is which can be the difference between financial peace of mind and absolute financial disaster. So let's break down that disaster scenario, because this is where millions of American drivers get it wrong. Think of it like this. Your car has two completely different enemies trying to drain your bank account. The first enemy is the external threat. Another car. A deer, a hailstorm, a thief. It's the sudden, violent, unpredictable event. For that, you have traditional car insurance. It's your shield. It's designed to handle the fallout from a collision or an act of God. It pays to fix the crumpled bumper, the smashed windshield, the damage you did to someone else's property. It's fundamentally reactive. It kicks in after the chaos. But there's a second enemy. An enemy that's far more common, far more certain, and in many ways far more insidious. This enemy doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. It's the slow, creeping certainty of wear and tear. It's the thousands of precision-engineered parts inside your engine, your transmission, your air conditioning system, all working under immense heat and pressure, all slowly marching towards their inevitable breaking point. This is the enemy of mechanical breakdown. And here's the brutal truth your insurance agent might not scream from the rooftops. Your standard auto insurance policy covers almost none of it. Let that sink in. You can pay your insurance premium on time every single month for 10 years. You can be the safest driver on the road with a perfect accident-free record. And then one morning on your way to work, you hear a clunk from under the hood. The check engine light starts flashing like a Christmas tree. You coast to the side of the road, your stomach in a knot, and call a tow truck. Your mechanic gives you the news an hour later. Your transmission is shot. The bill to replace it? $5,000. $6,000. Maybe more. You think, okay, that's terrible, but thank God I have insurance. You file a claim, and you get a swift, polite, and soul-crushing rejection. Why? Because nothing hit you. No accident occurred. Part simply failed. From their perspective, that's a maintenance issue. That's your problem. And suddenly, that $6,000 bill is yours and yours alone. This is the giant gaping hole in the financial safety net for most drivers. We are conditioned to think car trouble, call insurance. But the reality is, for the most common and most expensive problems you will ever face with your vehicle, traditional insurance is designed to tell you, no. An engine seizure? That could be an $8,000 no. A head gasket failure? A $3,000 no. Your car's main computer, the ECU, goes on the fritz? That's a $2,000 no. Your air conditioning compressor dies in the middle of a July heat wave? Another $1,500 no. These aren't freak accidents. These are the expected, eventual realities of owning a modern vehicle once the short-lived factory warranty expires. This is the void that Endurance was built to fill. And let's be crystal clear about something right up front, because the terminology can be confusing. Endurance is not car insurance. They don't cover you if you get in a fender bender. What they provide is something called a Vehicle Service Contract, or VSC. Most people know it by its more common name, an extended auto warranty. It's a completely separate form of protection that is specifically designed to pay for those gut-wrenching mechanical and electrical breakdown bills. It's not the shield for the external attack. It's the cure for the internal disease. It's not for the what if of an accident. It's for the when of a breakdown. And the when is getting more and more expensive. Think about the car you drive today compared to a car from 20 or 30 years ago. It's not just a simple engine and four wheels anymore. It's a rolling supercomputer. You have dozens of microprocessors, hundreds of sensors, thousands of lines of code controlling everything from your fuel injection to your power windows to your infotainment screen. This technology is amazing when it works. But when it breaks, you're not just replacing a simple mechanical part anymore. You're replacing a complex electronic module that can cost a fortune and requires specialized diagnostic equipment to even figure out what's wrong. The days of your buddy who's good with cars fixing it in his driveway are over. A simple sensor failure can now cascade into a $1,000 repair bill. The complexity of our cars has skyrocketed, and so has the cost to fix them. This creates a perfect storm for financial pain. You have cars that are more complex and expensive to repair than ever before. You have people keeping their cars for longer than ever before, well past the point where the manufacturer's warranty has become a distant memory. And you have the vast majority of drivers completely unprotected from the single most likely and costly threat to their vehicle: a major mechanical failure. Imagine this scenario. You have a 7-year-old SUV. It's paid off. It's your freedom. It gets you to work, your kids to school, your family on vacation. The factory warranty expired 40,000 miles ago. One afternoon, the engine starts running rough. The next day, it's making a knocking sound. Your mechanic takes one look and gives you the worst possible news. You need a new engine. The cost is $10,000. The car itself is only worth about $15,000. What do? You don't have $10,000 in cash just sitting around. You can't get a loan for a repair that's worth 2/3 of the car's value. Your insurance company won't give you a dime. So you're faced with an impossible choice. Drain your entire life savings, or junk the car that you rely on for everything and try to scrape together enough for a down payment on another one, starting the cycle of car payments all over again. This isn't a scare tactic. This exact scenario plays out in mechanic shops across America every single day. It is the financial nightmare that lurks under the hood of every single car on the road that isn't covered. It's the reason why a single unexpected car repair is one of the leading causes of financial hardship and debt for American families. So, traditional insurance guards against the crash. A vehicle service contract like the ones from Endurance guards against the breakdown. They are two different tools for two different jobs, and you are dangerously exposed if you only have one. One protects your car from other drivers. The other protects your car from itself. And it's this second, less understood form of protection where Endurance decided to build its entire empire. They saw this massive gap in the market, this terrifying financial cliff that millions of drivers were unknowingly speeding towards, and they decided to build a bridge. But they didn't just want to be another company selling extended warranties at a dealership. They wanted to change the entire game. They aimed to become a direct advocate for the driver, a partner in their car ownership journey, not just a faceless corporation. The question was how? How could they build a system that was not only affordable, but also trustworthy in an industry that was, frankly, littered with fly-by-night operations and empty promises? The answer wasn't a single flashy gimmick. It was a fundamental ground-up restructuring of the entire customer relationship. The founders, Paul and Jordan, looked at the broken landscape and saw that the core problem was a fractured chain of responsibility. In the old model, the person who sold you the contract at the dealership wasn't the person who administered your claim, and neither of them was the person who ultimately paid the bill. It was a tangled web designed to create confusion and plausible deniability. When a claim was denied, the dealership could shrug and say, "Don't look at us, we just sold it." The administrator, a faceless third-party company you'd never heard of, could point to some obscure clause in the fine print. Everyone passed the buck, and you, the driver, were left holding an expensive repair bill and a worthless piece of paper. This was the dragon Endurance set out to slay. Their solution was deceptively simple in concept, but revolutionary in practice. They would become a direct-to-consumer, direct administrator of their own plans. Let's break down what that actually means, because this is the absolute cornerstone of everything that makes them different. First, direct-to-consumer. By cutting out the dealership, they eliminated the middleman. There was no more inflated pricing to cover the dealer's commission. The savings could be passed directly to the customer, making comprehensive coverage more affordable than ever before. But more importantly, it meant that from the very first phone call, you were talking to Endurance. You weren't a lead being sold to the highest bidder. You were a customer building a relationship directly with your provider. This was a huge step, but the second part is the real game changer: becoming a direct administrator. This is the secret sauce. Endurance made the bold decision not to outsource the most critical part of their business, handling your claims. Think about that. The vast majority of vehicle service contract providers are just sales and marketing fronts. They sell you a plan, take their cut, and then hand you off to a completely separate company to manage the policy. That third-party administrator has a primary incentive, and it isn't your satisfaction. Their main goal is to minimize payouts for the insurance company that underwrites the policies. They are, in essence, incentivized to find reasons to deny your claim. Endurance flipped this model on its head. By being their own administrator, They align their interests with their customers' interests. When you have a breakdown and call the number on your endurance card, you are not being routed to some call center in a different state, staffed by people who work for a company you've never heard of. You are speaking to an endurance employee. The person who helps you file your claim works for the same company that sold you your policy. Their success is measured by your satisfaction, by their ability to efficiently process your claim and get you back on the road. There is no one else to blame, no other company to pass the buck to. The buck stops with them. This creates a level of accountability that was virtually non-existent in the industry before. Imagine the difference in experience. Your check engine light starts flashing, and your car limps to the side of the highway. Under the old model, you call a number, get put on hold, and finally speak to someone who starts by asking for a policy number you can barely find. They treat you with suspicion, immediately looking for ways your problem might not be covered. They tell you to get the car to a shop, have the shop diagnose it, and then call them back, at which point the real battle of paperwork and exclusions begins. The whole process is confrontational. Now, imagine the endurance experience. You make one call. The person on the other end says, "Okay, I see you're a member. Let's get this handled." They help you use your included roadside assistance to get a tow to a certified repair facility. They open the claim for you and speak directly with the service advisor at the shop. Their claims adjusters are ASE certified, meaning they speak the same language as the mechanics. They aren't trying to trick the shop or find a loophole. They are working with them to confirm the covered repair, authorize the work, and arrange for direct payment. You are not an adversary to be defeated. You are a member to be helped. That is the philosophical shift that they built their entire company on. Of course, a promise is only as good as the paper it's written on. The founders knew that to truly build trust, they needed more than just a better business model. They needed an ironclad financial guarantee. This is where the final piece of the puzzle comes in. Every single endurance protection plan is backed by an AM, Best A-rated insurance carrier. This isn't just industry jargon. AM, Best is the gold standard for rating the financial strength and stability of insurance companies. An A rating signifies that the insurer has a superior ability to meet its ongoing insurance obligations. What this means for you, the driver, is that your contract is secure. It provides a rock-solid safety net. In the unlikely event that endurance were to go out of business, your policy doesn't just vanish into thin air. The A-rated insurance company is legally obligated to step in and honor the terms of your contract for its entire duration. This was a direct answer to the biggest fear consumers had: paying thousands of dollars to a fly-by-night company that would disappear the moment they had to pay a major claim. Endurance essentially built a fortress of reliability. The direct administration model ensured accountability and superior service, while the insurance backing provided undeniable financial security. They weren't just selling a product, they were engineering a system of trust. They spent their early years painstakingly building a reputation, one positive customer experience at a time. They focused on earning accreditations and encouraging genuine reviews, knowing that in an industry plagued by distrust, transparency was their most powerful weapon. They built their entire claims process around the customer's perspective, streamlining communication and removing the typical points of friction and frustration. They understood that peace of mind wasn't just about knowing a repair would be paid for. It was about knowing that when you're in a stressful situation, the person on the other end of the phone is on your team. So they had built the how, a direct, accountable, and financially secure system designed from the ground up to serve the driver, not to fight them. They had created a new foundation for vehicle protection. But a foundation is only as good as the house built on top of it. With this trustworthy system in place, the next step was to design the actual protection plans themselves. They needed to create a range of options that could meet the diverse needs and budgets of every driver out there, from someone with a brand new car wanting to extend their factory warranty, to someone with a high-mileage older vehicle just trying to protect themselves from a catastrophic engine failure. They built this fortress of reliability, but what exactly were they protecting? What are the different levels of coverage? And how do you know which one is the right shield for your vehicle and your wallet? That's where the real power of choice comes into play. Endurance understands that not every driver is the same, not every car is the same, and not every budget is the same. So they didn't just build one type of shield. They forged an entire armory, with different levels of protection designed for specific needs. Think of it less like a one-size-fits-all policy, and more like a custom-fit suit of armor for your vehicle. We're going to walk through this armory piece by piece so you can see exactly which shield is meant for you. Let's start with the foundation, the bedrock of their protection. This is the Secure Plan. The name says it all. This plan isn't about covering every little thing. It's about securing you against the single biggest, most catastrophic, financially devastating failures a car can have. This is the shield for the most vital organs of your vehicle. We're talking about the powertrain. That's your engine, your transmission, and your drive axle. The heart, the lungs, and the skeleton of your car. This plan is designed for the driver who wants the most affordable entry point into protection. Someone who understands that while a broken radio is an annoyance, a seized engine is a financial knockout punch. Think of the daily commuter in a reliable, older Honda Civic, or the college student with their first car. They need to get from point A to point B without worrying that a single internal failure could cost them $3,000 or $4,000 and put them out of a car entirely. The Secure Plan says, we've got your back on the big stuff, the absolute essentials that keep you moving. It's the fundamental promise of protection, distilled to its most powerful and affordable form. But what if your car has seen a few more miles? What if it's not just about the absolute core components? As vehicles age, it's not always the engine that goes first. It's the supporting systems, the things that make your drive comfortable and safe. This is where the Select Premier Plan comes in. This is the armor specifically forged for the high-mileage heroes, the road warriors whose odometers look like phone numbers. Endurance designed this plan to address the specific needs of vehicles that have lived a full life, but still have plenty more to give. It includes the vital powertrain protection of the Secure Plan, but then it adds coverage for crucial systems that are more prone to wear on older cars. We're talking about your air conditioning. Anyone who's had their AC die in the middle of a July heat wave knows that's not just a luxury. It's a critical component. It also covers key parts of your electrical system, your cooling system to prevent overheating, and even your fuel system. The Select Premier Plan is for the family with the 150,000-mile Toyota Highlander. The engine is legendary, but the alternator, the starter, or the AC compressor might be nearing the end of their life. This plan provides that broader layer of security, making sure the vehicle remains not just running, but fully functional and comfortable for the long haul. Now we move up to the most popular tier, the one that hits the sweet spot for the vast majority of drivers out there. This is the Superior Plan. Think of this as the knight's full suit of armor. It's designed to be the most comprehensive, stated component coverage you can get. What that means is the plan has a list, a very, very long list, of all the specific parts and systems it covers. And that list is extensive. It covers everything in the lower tier plans and then expands dramatically. We're talking about the rear suspension, for a smooth and safe ride. We're talking about the complex steering system. We're talking about a much wider range of sensors and electronics that are the nerve center of any modern vehicle. This is the plan for the person whose 5-year-old Ford Explorer just came out of its factory warranty. The car is their daily driver, their family taxi, their weekend getaway vehicle. It has to work, and it has to work well. A failure in the suspension or a high-tech sensor might not stop the car cold like a blown engine, but it can easily result in a surprise bill for $1,000 or $2,000. The Superior Plan is designed to be the ultimate defense against the vast majority of common and not-so-common breakdowns, giving you a level of peace of mind that is truly, well, superior. But for some, most isn't enough. For the driver with a newer vehicle, a luxury brand, or a car packed with cutting-edge technology, you want the absolute highest level of protection possible. You want a fortress. That is the Supreme Plan. This is the top of the mountain. It's often called bumper-to-bumper coverage, but the technical term is exclusionary. And that one word changes everything. Instead of giving you a long list of what is covered like the Superior Plan, the Supreme Plan gives you a very short list of what isn't. If a part isn't on that short exclusion list, it's covered. Period. The list of exclusions is exactly what you'd expect. Wear and tear items like tires, brake pads, wiper blades, and routine maintenance items like oil changes. But everything else? The turbocharger? Covered. The high-end navigation and infotainment screen? Covered. The advanced driver assist sensors, the adaptive cruise control modules, the complex wiring harnesses? Covered. This is the secret service detail for your car. It's for the driver who accepts zero compromises and wants to know that no matter what high-tech, expensive, or obscure part fails, they are protected. It mirrors the factory bumper-to-bumper warranty the car came with, effectively allowing you to extend that same level of confidence for years to come. Now, all these plans we've discussed are fantastic at one thing: paying for repairs when something breaks. But what about the other major cost of owning a car? The routine maintenance. The oil changes, the tire rotations, the diagnostics, the things you have to do to prevent things from breaking in the first place. For years, that was a separate budget item for drivers. You had your repair protection and you had your maintenance costs. Endurance looked at this and asked, why? Why can't you have both? And their answer to that question is arguably their most innovative and valuable offering. The Advantage Plan. This is the game changer. Advantage is not just a vehicle service contract. It is a hybrid of repair protection and prepaid maintenance. Let me say that again because it's a critical distinction. With Advantage, you get the robust component coverage of a plan like Superior or Supreme, protecting you from the cost of unexpected breakdowns. But you also get an annual maintenance credit to use on essential services. This means your oil and filter changes, brake pad replacements, tire rotations, battery replacements, and even diagnostic exams and alignment checks are included up to a certain dollar amount each year. This completely changes the dynamic of car ownership. It's no longer just a reactive shield for when things go wrong. It's a proactive wellness plan for your car. It encourages and pays for the very services that keep your car running better, for longer, and helps you catch small problems before they become big ones. It's for the planner, the budgeter, the person who hates surprises more than anything. The Advantage Plan is like having a personal mechanic and a bodyguard for your car, all rolled into one. It transforms your vehicle ownership from a source of unpredictable expenses into a manageable, predictable part of your budget, covering both the sudden disasters and the everyday needs. So how does that actually work in the real world? When the unexpected happens, what does this bodyguard for your car truly do? Let's move away from the abstract and into a scenario that every single driver dreads. Picture this. It's the start of a long-awaited family road trip. You've packed the car, the kids are excited, and you're finally on the open highway, cruising towards a week of vacation. Your car is a reliable 5-year-old SUV. You've kept up with the oil changes, you've checked the tires. It's been your trusty steed for years, but it's just past its manufacturer's warranty period. You're 300 miles from home, in the middle of a state you've only ever driven through. Suddenly, a light you've never seen before flashes on the dashboard. A terrifying, angry red symbol. Then comes the sound. A clunking, grinding noise from under the hood that makes your stomach drop. The car lurches, loses power, and you're forced to wrestle it over to the shoulder of a busy interstate, with cars and semi-trucks roaring past at 70 miles an hour. In that moment, a tidal wave of panic hits. Your vacation just came to a screeching halt. The kids are asking what's wrong. Your spouse is looking at you wide-eyed. Your mind starts racing, calculating the disaster. First, the tow. How much will that cost? $100? $200? Where will they even take it? You pull out your phone and Google mechanics near me. Few names pop up. Are any of them trustworthy? You're an out-of-towner, a prime target for a shop looking to take advantage. They could tell you anything is wrong and charge you a fortune. Let's say the mechanic tells you it's a transmission failure. That's a $3,000, $4,000, maybe $5,000 repair. Your vacation fund? Gone. You'll have to put it on a credit card. But what about right now? You're stranded. You need a hotel for the night, maybe two. That's another few $100s. And you need a rental car to get around, or maybe even to just get your family home. The logistics are a nightmare. The cost is catastrophic. The stress is overwhelming. This single breakdown has the power to ruin your entire month, financially and emotionally. Now let's rewind that entire scenario. Let's play it again, but this time you have an endurance protection plan. The light flashes. The horrible sound begins. You pull over to the side of the highway. But this time, instead of panic, there's a plan. You take a deep breath, pull out your phone, and make one single call. You call the Endurance 24/7 roadside assistance line, or you use their mobile app. Within minutes, a tow truck is dispatched to your exact location. You don't have to haggle over the price or wonder if you're being ripped off. It's included. While you wait, the Endurance representative on the phone is already working for you. They're not just sending a tow, they're your concierge in this crisis. They access their nationwide network of ASE-certified repair facilities, shops that have been vetted and approved. They find a trusted, high-quality shop near your location. You're not rolling the dice on a random Google search. You're being sent to a professional. The tow truck arrives and takes your vehicle to the approved shop. You and your family get a ride there. The mechanic diagnoses the problem, a catastrophic transmission failure. The shop manager gives you the estimate, and it's a staggering $4,500. But you don't flinch. You simply give them your Endurance contract information. The shop calls Endurance directly to verify coverage. And here is the single most important part of this entire process. Endurance pays the repair shop directly. Let me say that again because it is a game changer. Endurance pays the shop directly over the phone with a corporate credit card. You do not have to pay that $4,500 bill out of your own pocket and then wait weeks for a reimbursement check that may or may not come. The only thing you are responsible for is your small predetermined deductible. That's it. A potentially life-altering expense is reduced to the cost of a nice dinner out. But the protection doesn't stop there. Remember, you're stranded 300 miles from home. This is where the other built-in benefits kick in. Because the breakdown occurred more than 100 miles from your house, you're eligible for trip interruption coverage. Endurance will reimburse you for lodging and meals, up to a certain amount, to offset the cost of being stuck overnight. They've turned a desperate situation into a manageable inconvenience. And what about getting around? You still need to get to your destination or at least back home. Your Endurance plan includes rental car reimbursement. They'll help cover the cost of a rental vehicle while your car is in the shop, ensuring your life doesn't come to a standstill just because your car did. So, in the Endurance scenario, that devastating, vacation-ruining, budget-destroying breakdown on the side of the highway becomes a completely different experience. It's an annoyance for sure, but it's not a catastrophe. One phone call mobilized an entire support system. A tow truck, a trusted mechanic, direct payment for a massive repair, and coverage for your hotel, meals, and a rental car. The peace of mind in that moment is priceless. This isn't just about one component. It's about a comprehensive safety net. But what's truly remarkable is that this level of service is just the beginning. With most of their plans, Endurance includes a complimentary year of their Endurance Elite benefits. And this is where they go from being a great service to an absolutely indispensable one. It's a package of perks designed to handle all the other little things that can go wrong with car ownership. For example, the Elite benefits include tire protection. We've all been there. You hit a pothole or run over a nail and suddenly you need a new tire. With Elite benefits, they will cover the cost to repair or replace up to 2 tires per year. That's a real-world saving that most people will almost certainly use. It also includes key fob replacement. If you've ever lost or broken a modern key fob, you know they can cost a shocking amount of money to replace, sometimes $300, $400, or even $500. The Elite Benefits program covers that. It's a small detail that saves you a huge amount of money and frustration. What about a real accident? The kind your auto insurance covers? Endurance Elite helps there too. They offer a collision discount, which can provide up to $500 towards your collision insurance deductible. And if your car is declared a total loss by your insurance company, their total loss protection can provide an additional $1,000 towards a replacement vehicle. They are actively working to fill the gaps left behind by traditional insurance. They even include identity theft protection through the LifeLock service, helping to protect your personal information with a suite of advanced tools. It's a benefit that has nothing to do with your car's engine, but everything to do with your overall security and peace of mind as a modern consumer. So when you look at the whole picture, it's not just one policy. It's a layered fortress of protection. At its core, you have the robust extended warranty, shielding you from the $5,000 transmission repairs. Wrapped around that, you have the 24/7 roadside assistance and trip interruption benefits, protecting you during the immediate crisis. And as the final premium layer, you have the Elite benefits, handling the everyday annoyances like flat tires and lost keys, while also providing a buffer for major accidents. It's a holistic approach to vehicle ownership. This system is designed to anticipate nearly every possible point of failure, frustration, and financial pain that comes with owning a car today. So you have this fortress of protection, but how do you choose the right plan for your specific car and your specific budget? That's where the genius of their system truly shines. Because Endurance understands that a 20-year-old pickup truck used for hauling lumber has completely different needs than a 3-year-old luxury sedan used for a daily commute. A one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work in the real world. It leads to people overpaying for coverage they don't need, or worse, being underinsured when disaster strikes. So instead of a single rigid policy, they've built a tiered system of protection plans, each one meticulously designed to serve a specific type of driver, a specific type of vehicle, and a specific type of budget. Think of it less like buying a product off the shelf, and more like having a suit custom tailored to fit you perfectly. Let's start at the foundation. This is the plan designed for maximum affordability, while still protecting you from the absolute worst-case scenarios. It's called the Secure Plan. This is the essential safety net. Its entire focus is on the most vital, and by far the most expensive components of your vehicle, the powertrain. We're talking about the heart, the soul, and the muscle of your car. The engine itself, the transmission, the drive axle, the turbo or supercharger if you have one. Why focus here? Simple. A failed alternator might cost you a few $100s. A blown transmission? You could be looking at $4, $5, even $6,000. For many people, a bill that large isn't just an inconvenience. It's a financial knockout punch. The Secure Plan is the shield against that knockout. It's perfect for the driver of an older car, who just wants to ensure they can always get from point A to point B without facing a catastrophic repair bill that costs more than the car is worth. It's the smart, budget-conscious choice for fundamental peace of mind. But what if you want to expand that peace of mind? What if you rely on your car for work and need a little more protection? That's where the next level up, the Secure Plus plan, comes in. It takes everything covered in the Secure Plan, that essential powertrain protection, and adds coverage for critical additional systems. This includes major components of your braking system, your steering, and even core electrical components. This is a significant step up. A failing power steering pump or a bad brake caliper can still sideline your vehicle and present you with a four-figure repair bill. Secure Plus is for the daily commuter who wants to cover more of the common failure points without jumping to the highest level of coverage. It strikes an incredible balance between affordability and a much wider scope of protection. Now we get into the heavy hitters. The next tier is called the Superior Plan. This plan offers the most extensive list of named component coverage you can find. What does named component mean? It's simple. If a part is named in the contract, it's covered. And the list for the Superior Plan is vast. It covers almost everything in the Secure Plus plan and then adds hundreds of other components. We're talking about your air conditioning system, a lifesaver in the summer and an expensive fix. We're talking about your cooling system, which prevents your engine from overheating. It even covers the rear suspension. This plan is designed for the driver who wants a very high level of certainty. You're not just protecting against the absolute catastrophes anymore. You're protecting against a huge range of expensive and deeply inconvenient breakdowns. It's a massive blanket of security that covers the vast majority of mechanical parts in a modern vehicle. But for the person who wants the absolute pinnacle of protection, the closest thing you can get to a brand new car's factory warranty, there is the Supreme Plan. This is the top of the mountain. Unlike the other plans, the Supreme Plan is an exclusionary policy. The difference is critical. Instead of listing what is covered, an exclusionary policy covers everything on your car, with the exception of a very short, specific list of non-mechanical parts. This list of exclusions is common sense stuff. Things like tires, brake pads, wiper blades, filters, fluids, basically routine maintenance and wear and tear items. But every other mechanical and electrical component, from the high-tech navigation screen to the complex engine sensors, from the power window motors to the anti-lock brake module, it's covered. This is the ultimate peace of mind plan. It's for the person who just bought a pre-owned vehicle and wants to restore that new car confidence, or for the driver of a luxury car with complex, expensive electronics. With the Supreme Plan, the question is no longer is this covered? But rather, is it on the very short list of exclusions? For most repairs, the answer is a resounding yes, it's covered. Endurance also recognized a huge underserved part of the American driving population, people with high-mileage vehicles. Most warranty companies won't even look at a car with over 150,000 miles. But these are often the cars that need protection the most. They're paid off, they're reliable, but they're at a higher risk of a major component failure. For these drivers, Endurance created the Select Premier Plan. This is specifically engineered for cars that have seen a lot of road. It focuses on the most critical components that are prone to failure on an older vehicle, like the engine, transmission, air conditioning, and electrical systems, giving owners of high-mileage cars a level of protection they simply cannot get anywhere else. It's a testament to their understanding of what real American drivers need. Now, all of those plans are incredible at protecting you from the unexpected. But what about the expected costs of owning a car? The oil changes, the tire rotations, the brake pad replacements? The things you know you're going to have to pay for year in and year out? This is where Endurance completely changed the game with a revolutionary plan called Endurance Advantage. This is the only protection plan on the market today that combines comprehensive mechanical breakdown coverage with up to $3,500 in routine maintenance. Let me repeat that. It covers the unexpected breakdowns and the routine maintenance. Under the Advantage plan, your oil and filter changes are covered. Your tire rotations are covered. You get an annual safety inspection, brake pad and wiper replacements, and even a battery replacement. All of this is included on top of robust breakdown coverage that's available in 3 tiers: Prime, Plus, and Preferred. So you can choose the level of repair protection that fits your needs. This plan fundamentally transforms car ownership from a game of financial Russian roulette into a predictable, manageable, fixed monthly cost. You're not just buying a shield against disaster. You're prepaying for your car's total wellness. It's for the driver who wants to simplify their life, who wants to know exactly what their car is going to cost them each month, with no surprises. No more debating whether you can afford that oil change. No more getting hit with a surprise $400 bill for new brakes. It's all built into one single comprehensive plan. It is, without a doubt, the most complete vehicle protection program available anywhere. So you have these distinct tiers, from the essential safety net of Secure to the all-encompassing care of Endurance Advantage. The beauty of this system is its flexibility. An endurance specialist can walk you through your specific situation, your car's make, model, age, and mileage, how you use it, and what your budget looks like to help you find that perfect fit. It's a collaborative process to build your personal fortress of protection. Okay, you've studied the options, you've talked to a specialist, and you've chosen the perfect plan. You feel secure, you feel confident. And then one morning a few months later you're driving to work, and that dreaded, ugly orange check engine light flickers on. Your stomach drops. This is the moment of truth. What happens now? What are the exact steps you take from the side of the road to getting back behind the wheel with a fully repaired car, without paying a dime out of pocket? The claims process is where a protection plan proves its worth, and Endurance's process is designed to be as painless as humanly possible. Let's break down exactly what that looks like in the real world, when the rubber literally fails to meet the road. Picture this: you're driving down the highway, maybe on your way to a crucial meeting or a long-awaited family vacation. The music is playing, the coffee is hot, and then it happens. A sudden violent shudder. A flashing light on your dashboard that you've never seen before. The engine sputters, whines, and then goes silent. You coast to the shoulder, your heart pounding in your chest. That sinking feeling of dread is universal. In that moment, your trip is over, your plans are ruined, and a tidal wave of financial anxiety is about to crash down on you. Or is it? With an endurance plan, this moment of panic is immediately replaced by a moment of action. You don't have to frantically search for tow truck near me on your phone while cars are whizzing past you at 70 miles per hour. You don't have to wonder if you're about to be price gouged by a local service. Instead, you pull out your phone, open the Endurance mobile app, or call the 24/7 roadside assistance number. One call. That's it. You tell them who you are, where you are, and what happened. From there, a network of professionals springs into action. A tow truck is dispatched to your exact location, and this isn't just any tow truck. It's part of a pre-vetted, nationwide network. The cost of that tow to the nearest certified repair facility? It's covered. That first, immediate financial sting of a breakdown is completely neutralized. Now let's talk about that repair facility. This is a huge point of contention with many extended warranty companies. They often force you to go to a specific dealership or one of their preferred, and often inconveniently located, shops. This is where Endurance fundamentally changes the game. You have the freedom to choose. Do you have a trusted local mechanic you've been going to for a decade? The guy who knows your car inside and out? You can take it there. Do you prefer the specialized equipment and technicians at your vehicle's dealership? You can take it there. As long as the facility is an ASE-certified repair shop, which is the gold standard for mechanics in the United States, the choice is yours. This isn't just a matter of convenience. It's a matter of trust. You get to have your vehicle repaired by someone you already know and trust to do good work. So your car is now at the shop of your choice. What happens next? This is the most critical phase, where many other protection plans fall apart with endless phone calls, confusing paperwork, and denied claims. With Endurance, the process is streamlined for one purpose: to get the repair approved and started as quickly as possible. You, the driver, simply provide the repair shop with your Endurance contract information. From that point on, your work is essentially done. The shop's service advisor will contact Endurance directly. They'll provide the vehicle information and the initial diagnosis of the problem. This is where Endurance's expertise comes into play. They have a team of their own ASE-certified claims adjusters. These aren't just call center employees reading from a script. They are legitimate car experts who speak the same language as your mechanic. They understand the complexities of a modern engine, the intricacies of a transmission system, and the diagnostics involved in figuring out what went wrong. Your mechanic explains that the transmission's torque converter has failed. The endurance adjuster knows exactly what that means, what parts are involved, and what the standard labor time is for such a repair. There's no need for you to play translator or middleman in a technical conversation you might not understand. The endurance adjuster reviews the claim against the specifics of your contract. They verify that the failed part is a covered component under your chosen plan, whether it's the Comprehensive Secure Supreme plan or a powertrain-focused plan. Once they confirm coverage, they authorize the repair. And this isn't a process that takes weeks. The goal is to get an approval in hours, sometimes even minutes, once the shop has provided all the necessary diagnostic information. They issue an authorization number to the repair facility, which is the shop's green light to order the parts and begin the work. Now we arrive at the single most important part of the entire process: payment. We've all heard horror stories about warranty companies that force you to pay the entire repair bill up front, a bill that could be thousands of dollars, and then submit a mountain of paperwork to hopefully get reimbursed weeks or even months later. That is a fundamentally broken system. It defeats the entire purpose of having protection if you still have to drain your savings account to get your car fixed. Endurance obliterates this problem with one simple, powerful policy: they pay the repair shop directly. Let me repeat that because it's the cornerstone of the entire value proposition. Endurance pays the shop directly. You don't have to front the money. You don't have to put a $4,000 transmission job on your credit card. Once the repair is completed, the shop sends the final invoice to Endurance. Endurance pays the bill with their corporate credit card for the full cost of the covered parts and labor. The only thing you are ever responsible for is your deductible, which you chose when you signed up for the plan. Could be $100, $50, or even $0 depending on your contract. You pay your small, manageable deductible, you get your keys, and you drive away in your fully repaired vehicle. The financial catastrophe you were facing on the side of the highway has been reduced to a minor, predictable inconvenience. And while all of this is happening, what are you doing? Are you stuck at home, borrowing a friend's car, or spending a fortune on ride-sharing apps? No, because your Endurance Elite benefits are kicking in. As soon as your claim is authorized, you become eligible for rental car reimbursement. Endurance provides a daily allowance, typically around $30 to $40 a day for several days, to cover the cost of a rental. This allows you to continue with your life, get to work, and run your errands without disruption while the professionals handle your car's repair. And what if that breakdown happened on that family vacation, hundreds of miles from home? This is where trip interruption coverage becomes your safety net. If a covered breakdown leaves you stranded, Endurance will reimburse you for meals and lodging expenses, up to a certain limit, until your car is back on the road. They turn a potential vacation-ruining disaster into a manageable situation, ensuring you and your family are safe and taken care of while the logistics are sorted out. This entire seamless ecosystem of support, from the tow truck, to the expert negotiation, to the direct payment to the rental car, is what defines the Endurance claims process. It's a system designed not just to pay for a repair, but to manage the entire crisis from start to finish, removing the stress, the financial burden, and the uncertainty from one of life's most frustrating experiences. But what does that crisis management actually look like on the ground in the real world when you're the one standing on the side of a highway at 11 p.m.? It's one thing to talk about a claims process. It's another thing entirely to experience the full suite of protection that wraps around you the moment you become an Endurance member. This isn't just about paying a bill. It's about an entire ecosystem of support services designed to anticipate every single pain point you could possibly encounter when your car fails you. Let's start with the first moment of disaster. The engine sputters. The warning lights flash like a Christmas tree from hell. You pull over to the shoulder, the sound of traffic whipping past your window. You're miles from home. It's dark. You feel that pit in your stomach, that feeling of being completely stranded and vulnerable. For most people, this is where the panic sets in. Who do you call? How much will a tow truck cost? How long will you be stuck here? With an Endurance plan, that panic is replaced by a single simple action. You call one number. That's it. Every Endurance plan comes standard with 24/7 roadside assistance. This isn't some cheap add-on. It's a core component of your protection. One call dispatches immediate help for whatever you need. A tow to the certified repair facility of your choice. a jump start if your battery died. They'll even bring you a few gallons of fuel if you ran out of gas. Locked your keys in the car? They'll send a locksmith. This service alone transforms a terrifying ordeal into a managed inconvenience. It's the difference between feeling alone and knowing a team has your back, anytime, anywhere in the country. So the tow truck arrives. They take your car to the shop. You're safe. But the crisis isn't over, it's just changed shape. The mechanic calls you the next morning with the bad news. It's your transmission. It's going to be a complex repair. We'll need the car for at least 5 days. 5 days. Your mind immediately starts racing. How will you get to work? How will you pick up the kids from school? How are you going to manage your life without your primary mode of transportation? The cost of a rental car for a week can easily run into hundreds of dollars. An unexpected expense on top of an already stressful situation. This is the next layer of the Endurance Shield. Most of their plans include rental car reimbursement. While your car is in the shop for a covered repair, Endurance helps cover the cost of a rental. They understand that your life doesn't just stop because your car did. This benefit isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. Keeps your world turning. It allows you to continue your daily routine without the crippling anxiety and logistical nightmare of being without a vehicle. You're not forced to borrow a friend's car, rely on expensive ride-sharing services, or miss work. You just pick up a rental and life goes on. But let's escalate the scenario. What if you weren't just miles from home? What if you were on that cross-country road trip you've been planning for years? You're 800 miles from your front door, in a town you've never even heard of, when your engine gives out. Now the problem is exponentially worse. You're not just without a car. You're stranded. You're looking at unexpected hotel bills, meals, and the logistical puzzle of how to handle a major repair in an unfamiliar place. A dream vacation can turn into a financial nightmare in an instant. This is where trip interruption coverage kicks in. If a covered breakdown happens more than 100 miles from your home, Endurance will help reimburse you for your meals and lodging, up to a certain amount per day for several days. Think about what that really means. It means you're not sleeping in a sketchy motel because it's the only thing you can afford. It means you're not living off vending machine snacks. It means a catastrophic breakdown is downgraded to an unexpected detour. Endurance effectively safeguards your travel investment and your peace of mind, ensuring that a car problem doesn't derail your entire trip. Now these benefits, roadside assistance, rental car coverage, trip interruption, are incredible. They form the foundation of what makes a vehicle protection plan so valuable. But Endurance decided that wasn't enough. They wanted to create a level of value so undeniable that it would completely change the conversation about what this kind of protection could be. And that's why they introduced the Endurance Elite benefits. For the first year, every new Endurance customer gets a free membership to this elite tier. And the benefits are, frankly, staggering. They're designed to cover the common, frustrating, and often expensive problems that traditional warranties and even other protection plans simply won't touch. First, let's talk about tires. You can have the most reliable engine in the world, but one piece of stray metal on the highway can leave you with a flat. Tires aren't cheap, and a single replacement can cost well over $100, sometimes much more for specialty vehicles. With Endurance Elite, they will cover the cost to repair or even replace up to 2 tires per year if they're damaged by a road hazard. This is a benefit you are almost guaranteed to use, and it puts real money back in your pocket. Next, key fobs. If you've ever lost or broken the key fob for a modern car, you know the shock that comes when you find out how much it costs to replace. It's not like getting a key cut at the hardware store anymore. These are complex electronic devices that can cost $3, $4, even $500 to replace and reprogram. It's an absurdly high price for such a small item. Endurance Elite includes key fob replacement. They will cover the cost to replace a lost or broken key fob, saving you from one of the most infuriating and overpriced repairs in the automotive world. But the most powerful Elite benefit, the one that provides a level of financial security that can be genuinely life-changing, is total loss protection. Here's how it works. Let's say you have a loan on your car, and you get into a major accident. Your insurance company declares the car a total loss. They'll write you a check for what the car is worth, its depreciated market value. But what if you owe more on your loan than the car is worth? That gap, which can be thousands of dollars, is your responsibility. You could be left making payments on a car that doesn't even exist anymore. It's a devastating financial trap. Total loss protection, included with Endurance Elite, can provide up to $1,000 towards your vehicle's value in the event it's declared a total loss by your insurance company. This isn't for a mechanical breakdown. This is for a write-off, bridging that dangerous financial gap and protecting you from going underwater on your car loan. And it doesn't stop there. The elite benefits also include a collision discount, which can provide hundreds of dollars towards your collision deductible. If you're in an accident, Endurance will help pay for your out-of-pocket costs, even though it's not a mechanical failure. They're essentially providing a buffer for both mechanical breakdowns and accidents. When you put it all together, you see that an Endurance plan is not a simple contract that pays for a broken part. It is a multi-layered, comprehensive shield. It's a 24/7 concierge for when you're stranded. It's a logistics manager that keeps your life running when your car is out of commission. And with the elite benefits, it becomes a financial safety net that protects you from a whole range of common, expensive, and frustrating automotive issues that go far beyond the engine and transmission. It addresses nearly every conceivable point of failure, stress, and expense that comes with owning a car in the modern world. The question then becomes, who is this for? Is it just for people with old, unreliable cars? Or is there a case to be made that nearly every driver on the road could benefit from this level of comprehensive protection? The answer, perhaps surprisingly, is that the ideal candidate for a vehicle service contract isn't just one type of person driving one type of car. It's a spectrum of drivers, each with their own unique relationship with their vehicle and their finances. Let's break down a few of these profiles. See if you recognize yourself in any of them. First, you have the high mileage hero. This is the daily commuter, the road tripper, the person whose car is their office. Think of someone who drives 40, 50, even 60 miles to work and back every single day. They might buy a car with 20,000 miles on it, and within 2 years they've blown past the 60,000-mile powertrain warranty without even blinking. For them, mileage isn't just a number on the dashboard. It's a clock ticking down on their factory protection. Every single day, the wear and tear accumulates. The constant stress on the engine, the transmission, the suspension, it all adds up. For the high mileage hero, an Endurance plan isn't a what-if scenario. It's a when scenario. It's the peace of mind knowing that when a critical component finally gives out from the sheer volume of use, they won't be stranded on the side of the interstate with a $5,000 tow and repair bill. The roadside assistance and rental car benefits alone can be a career saver for someone who absolutely cannot miss a day of work. Next, we have the savvy used car owner. This is perhaps the most classic and obvious fit. You just bought a beautiful 4-year-old SUV. It looks perfect, it smells clean, and the Carfax report was spotless. But here's the cold, hard truth. You have no real idea how it was treated. Was the previous owner meticulous with oil changes, or did they stretch every interval to the breaking point? Did they warm it up on cold days, or did they just start it and slam it into drive? Was it a garage-kept gem or a street-parked workhorse? Buying a used car, even from a reputable dealer, is an act of faith. You're inheriting a machine with a secret history. A vehicle service contract from a company like Endurance transforms that gamble into a calculated investment. It acts as a shield against the unknown, a guarantee that a previous owner's potential neglect won't become your future financial catastrophe. You're not just buying protection for the car. You're buying certainty in a fundamentally uncertain transaction. Then there's a profile that's becoming more and more common, the Drive It Forever loyalist. This isn't someone buying a beater. This is someone who buys a brand new reliable car. A Toyota, a Honda, a Subaru, with the full intention of driving it for the next 10, 12, even 15 years. They see their car as a long-term investment, not a disposable appliance. But here's the paradox. Their commitment to the car far outlasts the manufacturer's commitment to them. The bumper-to-bumper warranty is gone in 3 years. The powertrain warranty is gone in 5. But they still have another decade of driving ahead of them. For this person, an Endurance plan is about preserving their investment and ensuring predictable ownership costs over the long haul. They know that even the most reliable car brand on earth will eventually need major repairs. A water pump, an alternator, an AC compressor, these things don't last forever. By locking in a protection plan, they turn the unpredictable lump sum costs of aging car ownership into a manageable, consistent, and budget-friendly expense. It's a strategy for making a 15-year-old car feel as financially secure as a 3-year-old one. Now let's talk about a very modern driver, the tech-dependent motorist. Take a look inside any car made in the last 5 years. It's a rolling supercomputer. You have massive touchscreens for infotainment, digital dashboards, adaptive cruise control systems with radar sensors, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, dozens of ECUs, electronic control units, all communicating with each other. This isn't your grandfather's sedan with a simple engine and transmission. The point of failure has shifted. Today, it's not always a greasy mechanical part that breaks. It's a silent, sealed computer module that costs $2,000 to replace and another $500 to program. These high-tech components are incredibly expensive, and they are often explicitly excluded from basic, powertrain-only warranties. For the owner of a modern, tech-heavy vehicle, a comprehensive plan like Endurance's Supreme Plan is critical. It's designed to cover the car as it exists today, packed with silicon chips and sensors, not the car that existed 30 years ago. It's protection against the very complexity that makes modern cars so safe and convenient in the first place. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, there's the budget-conscious planner. This is the person, young or old, who lives on a carefully planned budget. They know where every dollar is going. They have their rent, their utilities, their groceries, their car payment, it's all accounted for. For this person, the single greatest threat to their financial stability is a sudden, unexpected, and massive expense. A $3,000 transmission rebuild isn't an inconvenience. It's a catastrophe. It means maxing out credit cards, draining their small emergency fund, or even taking out a loan. This is where an endurance plan functions as a powerful budgeting tool. It takes the terrifying, unpredictable cost of a major breakdown and flattens it into a fixed, predictable monthly payment. It's a payment they can plan for, just like their car insurance or their cell phone bill. They might pay more over the long run than if they never had a repair, but that's not the point. The point is the elimination of risk. They are paying for financial stability and the absolute certainty that a blown head gasket will not derail their entire life. So, with all these profiles, it sounds like a VSC is a universal solution. But let's be fair and balanced. It is absolutely not for everyone, and it's crucial to know if you fall into one of these other categories. First, if you're a serial leaser, you do not need this. If you get a new car every 24 or 36 months, you are perpetually living under the manufacturer's bumper-to-bumper warranty. The car will almost certainly be returned to the dealer long before any of its original protection expires. Buying an extended service contract in this situation would be completely redundant. Second, if you're a master DIY mechanic. I'm not talking about someone who can change their own oil. I mean the person with a two-car garage full of tools, a hydraulic lift, and the skills to pull an engine or rebuild a differential on a weekend. If you can diagnose a complex electrical issue and your labor costs are zero, then the financial equation changes dramatically. You're effectively self-insuring with your own time and expertise, and you might decide that paying only for parts is a risk you're willing to take. And third, you have the self-insured risk taker. This is someone with a substantial liquid emergency fund, say $10,000 or more, specifically earmarked for life's big emergencies, including car repairs. They understand the risks. They know a new engine could cost $6,000. They've done the math and have made a conscious decision to absorb that risk themselves. Instead of paying a monthly premium to Endurance, they pay themselves by putting that money into their savings, betting that their car's repair costs over time will be less than the cost of the contract. It's a valid strategy, but it requires financial discipline and a high tolerance for risk. So the decision isn't just about your car's age or mileage. It's a deeply personal choice that sits at the intersection of your driving habits, your financial situation, your technical skills, and your personal tolerance for risk. If you see yourself in one of those first 5 profiles, the commuter, the used car buyer, the long-term owner, the tech enthusiast, or the budget planner, the next logical question is, what now? How do you move from identifying the need to finding the solution? Endurance offers a range of plans, from basic powertrain coverage to all-inclusive exclusionary protection. How do you navigate those options to find the one that perfectly matches your car and your budget? And maybe most importantly, what are the critical, non-negotiable questions you absolutely have to ask any provider before you even think about signing on the dotted line? That is exactly what we need to break down next. First, let's tackle how to choose the right plan. This isn't about picking a name out of a hat. It's a calculated decision based on your specific situation. Start by looking at your car. How old is it? How many miles are on the odometer? A car with 50,000 miles has a very different risk profile than one with 150,000 miles. A newer, lower mileage vehicle might be perfectly served by a powertrain plan, covering just the most expensive, catastrophic failures. But an older vehicle, one that's past its factory warranty and starting to show its age, might be a prime candidate for a more comprehensive, exclusionary plan like Endurance's supreme coverage. You also have to be honest with yourself about how you use your car. Are you a daily commuter putting on 20,000 miles a year? Or do you just use it for weekend trips to the grocery store? Higher usage means more wear and tear, and a greater statistical likelihood of a breakdown. Next, consider your budget. This is a two-part equation. First, what can you afford for a monthly payment? These plans are designed to be budget-friendly, but you still need to fit it into your expenses. Second, and this is the part people often forget, what is your financial breaking point? Could you absorb a $2,000 transmission repair tomorrow without going into debt? What about a $4,000 engine replacement? An extended warranty is a hedge against that kind of financial shock. So you're not just asking, can I afford the monthly payment? You're asking, can I afford not to have this protection? The answer will be different for everyone. For someone with a large emergency fund, the risk might be acceptable. For someone living paycheck to paycheck, that unexpected repair bill could be a devastating blow. Now for the most important part, the non-negotiable questions you must ask any provider, whether it's Endurance or one of their competitors. Your power as a consumer comes from asking the right questions and demanding clear, unambiguous answers. Question 1. Are you the direct administrator of this plan? Or are you a third-party reseller? We've covered this, but it is so critical it bears repeating. If the company selling you the policy isn't the one paying the claims, you're introducing a middleman. This can lead to delays, finger-pointing, and frustration when you need help the most. With a direct administrator like Endurance, the company you pay is the same company you call when you have a problem. The buck stops with them. Question 2. Can you please show me exactly what is not covered in this plan? Don't just ask what's covered. Salespeople are trained to highlight the good stuff. You need to actively seek out the exclusions. Ask them to point to the specific section in the contract that lists exclusions. Look for things like wear and tear items, brake pads, tires, windshield wipers, which are almost never covered. But also look for more nuanced exclusions. Are seals and gaskets covered? What about diagnostic fees? Is there a clause that could deny a claim based on pre-existing conditions or lack of maintenance records? The devil is always in the details, and the details are in the exclusions list. Question 3. May I have a copy of the full sample contract to review before I make a decision? If the answer is anything other than an immediate yes, that is a monumental red flag. A reputable company will be proud of their contract and will have no problem letting you read it. They want you to be an informed customer. A shady operator will give you excuses, try to rush you, or just read you selected passages over the phone. You need to see the document for yourself. Read it. If you don't understand something, ask for clarification. If their explanation doesn't match what's written in the contract, trust the contract. Question 4. Walk me through your claims process step by step. From the moment my car breaks down to the moment I drive it away, fully repaired. This is where the rubber meets the road. A plan is only as good as its claims process. Is it simple? Do you have to pay the shop first and wait for reimbursement? Or do they pay the repair facility directly? This is a huge distinction. A direct pay system is vastly superior, as it means you're not out of pocket for thousands of dollars while you wait for a check. How do you get authorization for a repair? Is there a 24/7 claims line? How long does it typically take to get a claim approved? You want a process that is fast, simple, and gets you back on the road with minimal hassle. Question 5. Is this plan transferable if I decide to sell my vehicle? This is a major value add. A transferable warranty can significantly increase the resale value of your car. It gives the next owner the same peace of mind you enjoyed, making your car a much more attractive purchase. Most top-tier providers offer this, often for a small transfer fee. It's a feature that can literally pay for itself when it's time to sell. And a final crucial question. What is your cancellation policy? Life happens. Your financial situation might change or you might sell the car. You need to know your exit strategy. Reputable providers will offer a prorated refund for the unused portion of your contract, minus any claims paid. Be wary of any company with a confusing or punitive cancellation policy. So, after all of this, we land on the ultimate question: is Endurance or any vehicle service contract actually worth it? The answer is a resounding "it depends." It's not a simple yes or no because it's not the right product for every single person. If you're driving a brand new car that's fully covered by a comprehensive manufacturer's warranty, you don't need it yet. If you're driving a 25-year-old beater that's worth less than the cost of a single major repair, it's probably not a sound investment. But for the vast majority of drivers in the United States, people who own cars between 3 and 12 years old, who are past their factory warranty, and who rely on that vehicle every single day, it represents a powerful financial tool. It is not an investment in the traditional sense. You don't expect a monetary return. It is an investment in stability. It's an investment in predictability. It's an investment in peace of mind. What you are buying is the transfer of risk. You are taking the unpredictable, potentially catastrophic risk of a major auto repair and transferring it to a company in exchange for a fixed, predictable monthly payment. You are smoothing out your expenses, eliminating the financial shocks that can derail a household budget. You're paying a little bit each month to ensure you don't suddenly have to pay a lot. With a company like Endurance, you're also buying a service infrastructure. You're buying the convenience of having a dedicated team handle the logistics, from finding a certified shop to negotiating repair costs and paying the bill directly. You're buying the added security of the elite benefits, knowing that if you break down 500 miles from home, you have roadside assistance, trip interruption coverage, and rental car reimbursement to get you through the ordeal. The key is to go into it with your eyes wide open. Understand that it is a contract, and you have a responsibility to maintain your vehicle according to the manufacturer's recommendations. Keep your service records. Understand that it's designed to cover mechanical breakdowns, not routine maintenance or cosmetic issues. Ultimately, the value of an endurance plan comes down to one simple, powerful concept: certainty in an uncertain world. We can't predict when a water pump will fail, when a transmission will slip, or when an engine control module will burn out. These things happen, and with the incredible complexity of modern vehicles, they are more expensive to fix than ever before. An extended warranty draws a line in the sand. It says, "This is my maximum exposure. This is the most I will have to pay out of pocket." For millions of American drivers, that certainty isn't just a luxury. It's a necessity. It's the freedom to drive every day without the nagging fear of that one check engine light that could change everything. It's the confidence of knowing that no matter what happens on the road ahead, you're not alone. You're protected.